I have so much to catch up with you about.
It's so wonderful to be here. We're overdue.
I know. And in your honor, look at the shirt I wore.
Fatima, Khadija, Maryam, and... Nice.
I was like, I'm going to see Celine today. I must wear this.
Did you actually find it? Did you have it made?
So, it was... I'm trying to gather my thoughts. I'm trying to wrap my head around all the things that I've learned. That love is sacrifice. Love is believing in each other, even in the worst of times. Love means keeping each other's memory alive, even when they're gone. I want to understand from your perspective how you contextualize some of these stories.
There's an element of trust to love, and I'm just thinking of Khadija and the Prophet, peace be upon them both. She's the first one to trust him that he actually is this messenger of God who's sent with this message that is the Quran. And so much she put on the line. We also have in the Quran Moses' own mother who gets this revelation to her heart to throw her child into the river, which, this is what she has to do to save him. And she has to trust, the mother of Moses has to trust that this is from God and that she needs to listen to it. And so she puts baby Moses in this floating basket.
There was also a story about Moses' sister, right? She was also very important.
She's the one who saves him, essentially.
Wow.
So she's this really wonderful heroine so he's floating down the river and actually towards the palace. So she, the mother of Moses, says to her daughter, follow him. So out of a sense of loving her brother and wanting to save him, follows this basket all the way down.
Oh my gosh, so she followed the whole way there?
Now keep in mind, this is a time when Pharaoh's armies are slaughtering the Hebrew children. So she is tremendously brave to be able to approach the palace as a young girl. And then when Moses' basket gets pulled out of the river, you could just imagine he must be crying. And what do you do when you have a crying baby? You try to feed the baby. But so Moses' sister is seeing this, and she sees that she has an opportunity. And so she approaches the palace and says, shall I show you a house where he can be raised, where they'll take care of him? And with that, Moses gets returned to his mother, just like God had promised, and again, trust.
As I'm trying to conceptualize love, I see a lot of these stories where it moves people to do things that maybe they wouldn't do otherwise, right? This bravery that you were talking, right, about Moses' sister, to put herself in the line for the love that she has for her brother. Not that different from a lot of the stories that I've been seeing, and it make me think about the love of Shah Jahan and Mumtaz and how it was about, it was his love for her, but Shah Jahan's love for Mumtaz that made him more of a believer. You know what I mean? And
maybe Shah Jahan wants to change his life and take it in a new direction. He's in a state of grief, he's in a state of loss, but perhaps also this monument is his way of reviving himself into a better version, whether it's Shah Jahan in India or as you think about moving through the phases of your own adjusting to life without your dad. Live with the feeling. It's a gift. It will help you grow. It can take us out of that state of brokenness. And again, trust that you will find that love if you go looking for it.
I want to ask you, have you ever had your heart broken?
I think I was more of a heartbreaker.
Tomorrow we're shaking. Wake up, see the sun come again. A new year and colors
The story of Moses and his sisters stayed with me, and it led me to the next stop in my journey, to another story of love between a brother with a famous name and his older sister, whose name I didn't know at all. Yet she saved him in every way that's possible for one person to save another.
News program here on Channel 13, we presented a 5-part series which we called The Hate That Hate Produced, a study of the rise of black racism, of a call for black supremacy among a small but growing segment of the American Negro population.
You must realize in advance what's good news for you might be bad news for somebody else. Right? What's good news for the sheep might be bad news for the wolf.
The Hate That Hate Produced was a documentary in the late 50s that introduced the Nation of Islam and Malcolm X to the American public for the first time, and through the lens of hatred. But if you look at Malcolm, it's a love story, an untold love story. In order to really be able to understand who Malcolm is, you have to understand that Malcolm was shaped and formed by love.
Malcolm X's love for his daughters and his wife Betty is well known. Less is known about the roles his siblings played, especially his half-sister, Ella Collins, who was the daughter from his father's first marriage. She was 11 years older than Malcolm.
Malcolm X is born Malcolm Little, and the family experiences firsthand a lot of the brutalities of racism at that time. His father is eventually murdered early in Malcolm's life. As a result, his mother actually suffers a nervous breakdown.
She's committed to a mental institution. The state places young Malcolm into foster care.
Malcolm was kind of like struggling. He was getting in and out of trouble in the school systems, so much to the point that his older sister, Ella Collins, actually sent for Malcolm to live with her in Boston. Ella was pretty established. She lived in the upwardly mobile section of Roxbury at the time.
This clip is from our latest PBS film, Islam's Greatest Stories of Love, premiering August 22nd, 2025. Check the description for details and please subscribe to help us bring more stories like this to life.